What is up, dudes? Here is Grandpa. Welcome back. Today is gonna be an interesting video. Grab your beer, your Coke, snacks, popcorn, whatever you want to, because this is gonna be very interesting. I had an idea. Since I haven't made so many videos regarding tanks I would like to see in the near future in the game, I came with the idea that the game developers can do this only if they want to, and only if you guys can help me with, and it's for all of us. It's not just for me, it's for all of us. As you may know, when you're going with the battle path, you get a good amount of tanks where you can get them for free. So usually in the battle path are like a tier 8, a 9, optional if you get all the parts, an 8, and a 7 or a 6 or a 5. Whatever, it doesn't matter, you get 4 tanks in total. Despite the fact that if you're lucky, you can get also from the shop itself tanks and so on. But I came to a conclusion because I posted and I made a video a few weeks or days ago about the CATTB, why it's not getting buffed and it should get a buff and this and that, and that's why. And Armory Warfare posted on the site that they're gonna buff this tank in the near future, but near future to me it seems like never, or it's just a joke. Probably we ain't gonna see this coming, you know. To put it all like this, between CATTB and XM1A3 and even TTB, I'm gonna put TTB now. First came this tank. This was the tank test bed, the TTB, which had a drum and so on, reloads and whatever what it does. Quite interesting tank, but a very high requirement of upgrades and so on, which ends up going towards a TD and doesn't make any point or logical reason, because you go from a tech tree in Sophie Wolfley and you end up in the Oscar Faraday tech tree where you get a TD tank instead of an MBT. So what's my point? Hold your horses. And then it came CATTB, which is much more advanced, a better chassis, different tank guns, stuff in this tank, technically, you know, very advanced armament and so on, which was very interesting, but it didn't saw any mass production, sadly. And it came also with a very huge gun. And also this tank was introduced in the game, well, in quotes in the game discussion in November 21st, 2019 or something like this. Between the XM1A3 and CATTB, it came also another version. So what's my point? As you may know, in this game we have a lot of tech trees that are not finished. As you may see with Bradley, with Centauro, MGS, with Dragon. If we go to others, T80U tech tree is not finished. Beglade Panzer 57 is not finished, but amazingly goes up in a different type of a tank, which is very different to play in this tech tree of the SPG line, which SPGs are very important nowadays, even though in this game it isn't. For some players like me, which is an RT player, shout out to my battalion mates that sometimes make fun of me because I play with SPG. And also you may see in other tech trees and so on. So what's my point? I would like to see between XM1A3 and Leopard an obtainable CATTB named M1 Thumper. Why? Well, because you start with MBTs, you go in a tier 9 instead of going towards the M12AC, and you get into GAU, which is a TD tank from a different tech tree. This doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. If I'm putting, let's put it like this. TTB came first and then CATTB came second. So CATTB is a version of the TTB tank test bed. It's not GAU. GAU, it's a different tank. This tank should have come from T249 in my opinion. Okay, you can get from T249 straight to GAU because they have similar designs, similar guns, similar gameplay, similar stuff and so on. But this is a different subject. I'm gonna get into the tech trees in a near future, which is gonna be very interesting for you guys. And I would like to see an M1 Thumper in this tech tree in this line, where you can get the CATTB version, the first version of the tank, not with the 140mm barrel, but with the 120mm of the XM1A3, which is very decent. This tank reloads in 7 seconds, and it can go also lower if you have better retrofits if you use retrofits, and also better commander. Usually in the past, CATTB was reloading roughly the same as the 120 gun of the XM103, but today reloads in 13 seconds for a shell, and accuracy is also very crappy, so you have to pay attention to the map and play very, you know, strategically. You cannot go somewhere else and expect to be, I don't know, Rambo and kill all of them, you know. So here we are. On November 21st, 2019, it was announced that this tank is gonna be introduced in the game, a new feature, as a premium tier 10, you know. I was really happy, excited. It was, you know, interesting, you know. But let's go up. So this tank was introduced, you know, roughly 1990s and so on, because they thought that the Russians gonna come with a stronger tank and so on. But as you see here, one of the earliest iteration of such a design was the TTB demonstrator vehicle and the SRTV testbed that followed, both intended to test innovative and largely experimental features for the future Abrams, such as stuff that I posted in the previous videos, adjustable hydropneumatic suspension, or the Cummins XAP 1000 diesel engine that occupied 50% less space than the turbine of a standard Abrams while producing equal horsepower. Now, this engine we have in the game. Let's keep on going towards my main subject of the video. Let's go down, and here is the tank. Now, let's read this. The last chapter of the CATTB history was written in the 1990s with the Thumper. Dudes, as you see this tank, it's a different turret, different design, different side skirts, different gun, different viewports, but it's similar with the M1 chassis. The Thumper was effectively a striped version of the CATTB built by Lockheed Martin. It lacked several advanced but expensive systems. CATTB has, you know, a lot of stuff, and was armed exclusively with the 120mm version of the XM21 gun. That's what I said, guys. We can have this tank obtainable in the tech tree. After you unlock the CATTB, you're gonna get this tank. We will have an obtainable CATTB in the game through tech tree, you know, while you don't spend so much time playing with the CATTB, so you can get a GAU, which is a different tank, and that tank should be in a different tech tree and it should have a different line, and also to enjoy the grinding, and also to reduce the grinding of the TTB, which is tremendously, and it's a lot. I like to play with the TTB tank, I like to play also with the CATTB, but I don't see that this is normal, you know, like I really don't see it that's normal. The Thumper was tested for a while alongside the XM8, the first one, but unfortunately for it shares this fate and will get cancelled. We are adding this information because the Thumper and the CATTB get often mixed up, although they are different vehicles. You see this? It says also that these are different vehicles. It's not just me that says this. And it kinda suits. It kinda suits the line of the TTB if it's gonna be added. And I hope that's gonna be added as an obtainable, researchable tank in the tech tree from the TTB line. Ain't so much talk about the CATTB because you guys already know you can get in the game in the vehicles tech tree and read about it. But this is my point, like, man, the tank really can be added to the game, and we can all enjoy the game itself because it is a tank that is known and it's been presented. Thumper came also with a 140mm smoothbore gun that featured an autoloader, which was also interesting, but it had major problems with the reloading. So usually sometimes you will have a loader in the tank to help the loading of the gun, you know. And it took quite a while to have this munition, you know, put it in, because it was a big failure with the autoloader. It was interesting. It's a very interesting tank, and I'm looking forward to see him in the game in the tech tree. in this game, not premium. We have a lot of premium tanks. I think it's enough. People don't play anymore with progressive tanks, you know, they don't explore anymore tech trees. Just some of them explore, the rest of them are playing with premium tanks. If you have a premium, you play with it, and that's it. That's not fun, you know, that's not fun, and this is not the way this game started, and it should not end up like this. Okay, you put money in the battle pass, you get the access, you get the tank premium tanks, and you get out. My point is, I would like to see M1 Thumper in this game same level as CATTB and XM103. Thanks for watching, guys. Tell me in the comment section, do you want to see him in the tech tree? Do you want to see him premium? Do you want to see still KTTB buffed? And so on. And I'll catch you next time in the next video.